As a co-chair of the 2017 Women's March, widely reported in the media. She is well known for her work on tackling racism and building coalitions across ethnic and faith communities. She'll be speaking about the role of women in activism, racism, islamophobia, and social justice. Please welcome Ms.
Assalamu alaikum, London. I'm very honored and deeply humbled to be here to support the work of MEND and to spend time in the UK. And I've told folks in Manchester and Birmingham, I've been to many European countries, but this is actually my first time in the UK. And now I kind of have an understanding why this may be my first time. It could also be my last time in the UK. So, one of the things that I make sure everybody knows when I walk into any space and into any country is that I am standing here today before you unapologetically Palestinian American. Very proud of my heritage and the blood of resilient people that have endured a 70-year struggle and still, sisters and brothers, stand tall and proud and courageous on behalf of the entire Muslim Ummah. I also stand here before you, my dear sisters and brothers, unapologetically Muslim American. And what's interesting about the conversations that we've been having, and we have them here in the UK, and we have them in the United States all the time, is this idea of activism, of being a Muslim, being an activist. And oftentimes people want you to choose between being a Muslim or being an activist. And so a lot of people will say, MashaAllah, Sister Linda's an activist, Sister Linda's an organizer. And I want to make sure people understand where my activism comes from. Why I do the things that I do, why I say the things that I say, why I every day put my life on the line to defend my right and the rights of Muslims in America to be wholly Muslim. Sisters and brothers, I believe wholeheartedly that it is a responsibility for you to be an active Muslim, to be an engaged Muslim, to be a political Muslim. And I say that because we have this tendency in the Muslim community, and it's happened to me many times before, and some of you may have experienced this. I will be invited to a space, maybe to a masjid in the States, and they will say to me, Sister Linda, come here and speak to us about Muslim women's empowerment, but please don't talk about politics. Because in this masjid, we don't do, Sister Linda, politics. This masjid, we stay away, Sister Linda, from the politics. You know, it's too controversial, you know, we don't like politics in the masjid. So I want to make this very clear to all of you here, my Muslim family in London. If you woke up this morning, and you are breathing, and you are Muslim, you are political. You have no choice but to be political in nations that have politicized you, have politicized your community, have politicized your faith, with governments that continue to humiliate you and to demoralize you and to vilify you as a community, in countries where they have programs specifically created to target our young people. So you can't tell me I don't want to do politics. The other thing about being an activist is, and I went to public school my entire life. My parents had 7 children in a span of 10 years. So within 10 years, my mother and father had 7 kids. My mom would be like, what happened to the other 3? 7 kids in 10 years. So when I was 10, and I'm the oldest, 10 years old, my mother had already the 6 that were younger than me. And my parents were lower middle class. They could not afford to send me to Islamic school. So on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, I would go to Islamic school. As I grew older, I realized that I was cheated out of my Islamic education. That I was not being taught Islam in a way that inspired me, in a way that gave me courage. In fact, the Islam that I was being taught was telling me to be quiet. Right? To just be under the radar, right? Told me what my place was as a woman, right? And even sharing with me a manifestation of a culture and religion that went together that was so hard to decipher. I couldn't tell if this was my Arab culture that I was being raised in or if it was Islam. I was confused, right? When they say something, mar'a. This is what I was told. But I was also being taught the seerah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. And when I grew older, I realized that no one ever taught me that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, was a human rights activist. In modern times, we would consider our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, a human rights activist. Yes. Sisters and brothers, when you hear the stories of our beloved Prophet, and we see this in our leadership right now, in the UK, in the United States, in South Africa, everywhere, even in the Muslim world, our leaders are looking for the most powerful and influential people to be around. They take the picture in the newspaper, they want to be with the member of parliament, they want to take a picture with the prime minister, and that's what they think is the way to change Islamophobia to serve our community. You know where our beloved Prophet Muhammad chose to be? Amongst the poor, with the orphans, with the single mothers, with the sick, and with the elderly. He always chose to be amongst the most vulnerable of our society. How many poor Muslims are here in the UK? How many single mothers in our community raising their children on their own with no support from our community? How many refugees came here seeking a better life just to come to a country that tells them they don't belong here? And not just to a country, sometimes to a community that tells them we have enough stress. I don't know why these people came. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, in modern times would be called an environmental justice activist. Yes. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad taught us that the trees, the plants, the earth, the lakes, and the oceans are blessings from Allah for us to take care of those blessings. Look at us, you go to the Muslim communities. I walked around in the UK. There's garbage everywhere. Even in front of the masajid, garbage in the streets, right? We as Muslims are told to take care of the environment in which we live. That is your responsibility as a Muslim, and that is following in the footsteps of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, was a workers' rights activist. So when you hear people that are in labor unions and people who are fighting for their rights to be paid fair wages, or for their rights to work in dignified working spaces, that's not an issue outside of the Muslim community. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, said what? Pay the worker before the sweat on his forehead dries. That a man or woman should be paid for the labor in which they did. Nobody should have to fight any employer to be treated with dignity and respect and to be paid a fair wage so that they can feed their families. So when you see people fighting, school teachers fighting for fair wages, or sanitation workers, or any workers, that's your issue. There are Muslims who work in these industries too. We have another problem in the Muslim community. The minute the Muslim brothers hear a sister say feminism, the first thing that comes to the minds of the brothers is what? Astaghfirullah. Because the brothers assume, because some of them may not understand our deen entirely, that we as Muslim women, when we invoke feminism, that somehow I am being brainwashed by some Western white feminism about what women's equality is. I'm a feminist because I'm a Muslim. I'm a feminist because my deen tells me that I am worthy. Our beloved deen has taught us that heaven lays at the feet of the mother. They didn't say heaven lays at the feet of the father. They said it lays at the feet of the mother. Our Islam told us that a father who raises two daughters, righteous daughters, practicing daughters, strong daughters, educated daughters, take it to heaven. They didn't say raise two righteous sons. Now I'm sure if you do raise two righteous sons, because Allah has not blessed you with daughters, because daughters are a blessing. Every mother and father knows that. And the reason why I say that, because that's also following in the sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. He encouraged the education of women. He married a prominent businesswoman. And you all know this. All of the merchants in Quraysh did not even match up to success and stature of Khadija. You know, our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, had no problem marrying a woman 15 years his senior. God forbid some Muslim brother in the community went and told the community at the masjid, I'm marrying a sister who's 15 years old, and they say, what's going on here? Our community lost its way. Or a sister who comes and says she's marrying a brother who's younger than her. Oh, what's going on? Our community has lost the deen. So we make things up as we go along that makes us feel comfortable in the moment. Brothers and sisters, Islam is very clear. I'm not a Muslim reformer. I'm not changing our deen. I'm not telling you to give up your convictions and the beliefs that are very clearly laid out in our deen. I'm also not a theologian. I'm also not an alima. I'm not a scholar of Islam. I'm not a sheikh. I'm a political activist. And that's what we have to be clear about in the Muslim community. Who do you go to for spiritual guidance? You don't go to Sister Sarsour. I don't do fatwas. I don't interpret the deen. I practice the deen just like everybody else. And guess what, sisters and brothers, none of us are perfect. And if you are sitting here today saying, MashaAllah, me, I'm so perfect, I want to talk to you afterwards. So, people will say, Sister Linda, but you know, our most important responsibility is to preserve our deen, right? Absolutely, right? Our most important responsibility is for us to preserve our deen because there are next generations who are not even born yet, who are hoping that you are able to preserve a deen that they can be born into, or they can revert into. So that's your responsibility. So here's where Sister Linda comes along. You can sit, sisters and brothers, all day long and pray 5 times a day, and you can pray, you can fast in Ramadan, and you can believe all the things you want to believe, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. But if you live in a country like I live in the United States, where there are people passing anti-Sharia legislations in 26 states who are trying to limit my right and the right of Muslim Americans to practice their faith, then I have to be political, and then I have to organize in coalition and by any means necessary in political advocacy, defend my right as a community to practice my faith. In the United States, you've heard about this many times. We have this campaign from the opposition around opposing the building of mosques. So Muslims will move from one place to another, right? 20, 30 families will move because of affordability, maybe there's jobs. They go to a place, they find there's no masjid. Or mashallah, the Muslim community is growing, so they need more masajid. So what happens? The Muslim community proposes to build a building, the opposition comes and says in the zoning board, which are people who get to vote whether or not. By the way, in the United States, you don't just build a building and say, mashallah, salam alaikum, there's a mosque. This is not how it works. You have to apply. And there is an application process in order for you to open a masjid in the state. Somebody else has the right to say you don't get to open a masjid. So if you're a scholar and you're over here telling me preserve deen, but you can't even build a masjid, I don't understand how that's supposed to work. So maybe you don't want to be a political activist, and you don't want to go to the lobby, you don't want to go to the parliament and the Congress, and you don't want to lobby the local coalition and our allies and our Jewish and Christian allies and all allies, then you don't have to do that. Let Sister Linda do that. Let the sisters that you know this, sisters and brothers, in a place like Europe. Where were the Muslims when in France they passed a piece of legislation that said this? If you are a sister and you want to go to public university, you can't wear a hijab. If you want to have a public sector job in France, you're not allowed to wear a hijab. So you have to choose between your livelihood and feeding your family to have a job and your faith. You have to choose between your education and your faith. Where were the Muslims? Where were the scholars? Yes. How are we going to preserve our deen if we are living in countries that are telling us we can't be fully Muslim? It's not okay. And so when I stand before my Lord, I will tell my Lord I did everything that I could, so women in my country can continue to wear hijab boldly and bravely. Where where we continue to build massages anywhere we deem appropriate because religious freedom laws are supposed to apply to us too. Where we are able to go up against law enforcement agencies in the States and say, listen, in America, the majority of extremist and violent extremism that has happened in the United States is not at the hands of Muslims. It is at the hands of white nationalists and white supremacists, neo-Nazis. So why is our government using our taxpayer dollars to put forth programs that engage in unwarranted surveillance of Muslim communities? Entrapment of young, vulnerable Muslim men in our community. Not on my watch, sisters and brothers, not on my watch. Not on my watch. Example, I'm sure Sheikh Zahir, who really, inspired me. That is a powerful brother you have here in the UK. I'll share with you a story to illustrate the crisis of leadership that we have in our community. A few years ago, 2 years ago, right after Trump became the president, and you can say astaghfirullah when I say Trump. And any Muslim that voted for Trump is going to have to answer to Allah. That's all I have to say about that. Which were many, just to be clear. I went to a convention in the United States called the Islamic Society of North America. Very similar, does similar work. They bring Muslims together, we lecture scholars, speakers, all this kinds of thing. And I was the keynote speaker at the luncheon. And the luncheon is not the whole convention, it's just 500 people, they're all Muslim leaders. And not one person in the room was a non-Muslim. These were Muslims, these were my sisters and brothers, and I was having a conversation with them, and it was not a private conversation. I knew I was being recorded, because I'm always recorded, everywhere I go. So everything that I say here is on the record, even if they tell me it's not on the record. Because that's the kind of climate we live in, sisters and brothers. You don't live in a country where you could be free to say what you want. Whatever comes out of your mouth, you will be held accountable. So, the Muslims in America at the time after Donald Trump was elected, many Muslims felt devastated. They were like, oh my God, what did we just do? This is not good. Our country made a mistake. This is going to be very bad. And so I was trying to raise the morale of the Muslims in the room. So I shared with them a hadith that I had learned and heard many times before, and many of you in this room have heard. And I said to the Muslims in the room that our responsibility is, to be courageous, to stand up. We are not ashamed of who we are, all these kinds of things. And then I said that there was once a man who asked our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, what is the best form of jihad or struggle? Look how intelligent I am. I translated jihad to struggle in the same sentence. Because I know. I'm a very smart lady. So I said that a man asked our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, what is the best form of jihad or struggle? And our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, responded and said, the best form of jihad or struggle is a word of truth to a tyrannical ruler. Exactly what happened here is what happened at Islam. Nothing happened. Alhamdulillah, everybody is like, mashallah, we heard the Sheikh say that all the time. The Imam said that last week at the masjid, everything's fine. I went home, back to New York after the convention, and one morning I wake up and my phone. Sister Linda, where are you? Sister Linda, where are your children? Are you okay, Sister Linda? Do you need anything, Sister Linda? About 100 text messages. So I was concerned. And I said, if all these people have some information, there's one source for that information, and that's Twitter. Because that's what we do in these days. So I went to Twitter. I opened it up, I went to the place of the trending topics, and I found my face right there. And under my face was number 1 trending, number 2, number 3, as you know. Number 1, Linda Sarsour was trending. Number 2, jihad. And I already knew what happened. So, we have an Islamophobic group in the United States who comes to these kinds of events and they record speakers and they do brilliant editing. Slap it all together very smoothly. And it was about maybe a 1.5 minute clip from a 30-minute speech that I did, and eventually my entire speech was online, and even American journalists transcribed my entire speech. And so anyway, a brother in our community who I love very dearly has done a lot of good work in our community, called me up and he said, Sister Linda, we are ready to hire a communications firm for you. We can help you to craft a statement where you can apologize. You can say that you could have used better words. You know this word, Sister Linda, is very controversial. You know that it makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable. And next time we have to be careful about the words, this kind of thing. Sisters and brothers, never in my life have I ever felt so offended and insulted. You know what I said to this brother? I said, brother, do you hear yourself in what you are saying to me? I said, please, brother, explain to me, what better words could I have used better than the words of our beloved Prophet Muhammad? And so, after that phone call, I had a choice to make. My choice was to follow the advice of the brother, who's from a very prominent organization in the United States, or to double down on what I just said at the ISNA convention. You all know me, I'm Palestinian. There was only one choice for me, which was to double down. So I decided that it was our moment, and if I had to be the sacrificial lamb in that moment, and if the brothers didn't want to be there, that's fine. And I went up and I said, I wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post, one of the largest papers on the record in the United States. And then all of a sudden, everybody got courage. People were writing op-eds in the Huffington Post and the New York Times. People were going up on Fox National Television, on CNN, defending my right to use the term jihad. Sisters and brothers, you know how many times Sister Linda don't talk about Palestine? We don't want to do, listen, sisters, who are you afraid of? And that's what I ask people all the time, that people want to define and label my Islam. My Islam tells me that we only fear Allah. I don't fear anybody in this room. I don't fear anybody. Because I don't answer to you. I don't answer to you. I answer to my Lord. Our Lord knows our intentions in our work. And also our Lord's going to ask all of you, particularly those of us who don't live in Muslim countries, what did you do to defend your deen in the countries in which you live? Islam, sisters and brothers, is not just about engaging in the basics of what you've been taught to pray 5 times a day and just fast and do all these things. And then when you walk down the street and you find a homeless person, you walk over them and you say, I completed my Islam because I already prayed today. But there's a homeless brother in the street begging for food and you just walk right by him. We gotta question that Islam is not just a faith that has some instructions for you to follow. Islam is a way of life. Islam is about every decision that you make. It's in your every interaction with women in our community, with sisters in our community. Whether your masjid allows women to pray at the mosque. I'm just curious, especially looking for some mosques in the UK. Can somebody explain to me, when was there a time in the days of our beloved Prophet Muhammad where our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, said women cannot pray at the mosque? I'm just trying to understand if that's, because I might have missed that. Or if there is a prayer space for women, it's in the basement, or it's in the corner of the masjid and it's absolutely unacceptable conditions. I'm just trying to understand, because if that's in the deen, I want you to show me where it is, because I missed that part. And so I want to talk to the sisters very quickly before I leave the stage today. What I hope that you get from me today, and just in my little observation and experience, is that you follow a deen that says you are worthy. And that you are offered the same access to ilm and knowledge and Islamic knowledge as any man in our community. And that you are allowed, as a Muslim woman, to stand up and use your voice in the cause of justice. That Allah doesn't say only the men in our deen are to defend our deen. I don't know, I didn't see that anywhere. We are all, as Muslims, have the responsibility to defend our deen and our right to be Muslims in the lands in which we live. And so what I hope you get, my dear sisters, is we need more people like you. Because when there's only a few of us, not only do we get targeted by the Islamophobes, but we get targeted by people in our own community. Especially those that don't have the solutions to the problems in in which we are fighting. Got a problem with something that we're doing and you have some constructive criticism, ahla wa sahla, wait, I'm more than welcome to hear. But I want to know what you're doing for the young people in our community with substance abuse issues, with the young people in our community that are turning to drugs and alcohol, even though they know it's clearly stated in our deen that it's haram. But why are our children going down that path? What about the crisis of young people in our community? And this is not a prevalent issue but it is existent. The kids in our community say, I don't know if I'm Muslim anymore. This crisis of atheism. I don't see anybody. Where's the big lectures? What about the crisis of domestic violence within our community? Let's be clear, it happens in every community. This is not exclusive to the Muslim community. What happens to the issues of poverty in our community? Extreme poverty, the extreme inequality of classism within the Muslim community. But we're so good to say, mashallah, when we go to Hajj or we go to the masjid, Sister Linda, I am rich and I stand feet to feet with the poor man. It's not enough to pray to your Lord in the masjid next to the poor man. What are you doing to help uplift the poor in your community? What are you doing to share the blessings that Allah has given you with those in our community so they can just have it just a little bit easier? And so, I want to make sure that we're clear that there are some fundamental principles that we have as a Muslim community because it comes from our faith. And we love this, and Sheikh Zahir talked about this earlier. I've heard him talk about it for 3 days in a row. I'm tired of the labels in our community. I'm tired, exhausted. Sister Linda, here are the conservatives over here. These people are like a little conservative, not very conservative. Then, Sister Linda, we have the liberals in our community. Oh, Sister Linda, stuff with a lot of liberals. These people messing up the deen. They're taking our kids astray. And then other people, different things. In America, we have the Republicans and the Democrats, right? They try to say this is the Democrats, these are the Republicans. They put us in political parties, all kinds of different labels, right? I don't like anybody to give me labels. Any labels you have about me, keep them to yourself. I'm not interested in what you have to say about me and what my views are or put me on a spectrum. Allah judges my views, and Allah will judge my work and intentions. And don't put intentions on other people's work. Oh, this brother does this work because his intention is this or his niyyah is this. You don't know. You don't know each other's niyyah. And so what I'll say about labels when you leave here today is I'm going to put forth the things that I prioritize and I work on in the United States of America. What I'm known for, the campaigns that I am at the forefront of in the United States. Sisters and brothers, please explain to me what is right, what is left, what is liberal, what is conservative, and what is un-Islamic about believing that every child deserves access to high-quality education regardless of where they live. What's so un-Islamic or right or left or liberal or conservative about believing that everybody in my country deserves access to health care? That nobody in my community or outside my community should die because they don't even have the finances to go to a doctor or a hospital. That is unjust. And that is my issue. I'm one of the leaders in America on the Medicare for All campaign. Sisters and brothers, what is so right or left or conservative or Republican or Democrat or un-Islamic about believing that the immigrants and refugees who come to our community should be welcomed and treated with dignity and respect? Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, was a refugee. And he was welcomed into societies, and he welcomed the strangers into the societies in which he lived, and that is our responsibility as Muslims, and also just as citizens of the nations in which we live. What's so right or left or conservative or liberal about believing that black people inside our Muslim community and outside our Muslim community should be treated with dignity and respect and not fear having to walk down the street in their communities and be shot by a police officer? What's so right or left or conservative or liberal about believing that in my country we should pay people a living wage, not a minimum wage, a living wage, so that they can support and feed their families and not have to work 3 and 4 jobs just to support their families? Fathers who don't see their children because they have to work multiple jobs just to Senator myself, I want to go to university and get a degree and be able to go to university and get that degree. That's what I fight for. I fight for an end to college debt and to relieving students of student loans and to fight for my country to have a free public university education. I also believe, sisters and brothers, that I live in a society where if I, as a Muslim, want to be treated with dignity and respect, if I want to be respected in my values and my views, that I have to also allow other people to live with dignity and respect and allow other people to hold their views and be able to live in the way in which they want to live. How do you want to be respected and be able to hold who you are, but then you don't want someone else to do that? Explain to me how that's supposed to work. You don't live in a Muslim country. You live in a country with laws, and Sharia says very clearly, you live in the lands in which you live and you follow the laws of that land that you live in. That's it. That's just what it is. And when there is a law that you don't appreciate, guess what you are allowed to do? Be a political Muslim and engage in the advocacy process to change the legislations that don't fit who you are. Because that's what everybody else does. What do the Muslims do? We complain. We sit home, oh, why are they doing this? Oh, why are they doing that? And guess what? Where are you? Are you walking the halls of the parliament? Are you building political power? Are you ensuring that our young people and women and men are engaged in the political process? So that's why you get legislation that you are not fond of. You know why? Because they know that they can do that. Because they know you're not going to do anything about it. So don't complain. Do something. So what for me, I don't complain about something unless I have a solution or an opportunity to at least attempt and make an effort to change something. Sisters and brothers, I want to make it very clear. I get attacked all the time. I have credible registered death threats that have been investigated by the highest levels of law enforcement in the United States of America. I have, in the United States, I have security detail. And I only do that because it makes my family feel better. Because me personally, I'm not afraid. Because I also believe, and I hope you believe this, that Allah is the best of protectors. And that when we were born, we already knew there was a day we were all going to die. And I am going, if I have to die, defending my deen in the United States of America, I would be honored to die a death in that way. What I'm saying to all of you in this room today is that it is not enough for us to live in countries that every day expose islamophobia to us, that tell our children you don't belong here, that your Islam is foreign and belongs in some other part of the world. We have to stand up and say that our faiths, Islam, have been on the shores of the UK and the United States of America before those countries were even named the UK and the United States of America. That my faith is central and core to what it is to mean to be the land of religious freedom in the United States of America. And that it is Muslims in America who have contributed to the nation that it is today. And when they say to you, but Linda, when we do these and we say these things, we may be called unpatriotic. They say to us, if we speak up, they're going to say we hate our country. Let me tell you the definition of what a true patriot is. A true patriot is somebody that loves their nation so much that you wake up every day pushing your nation to be the greatest nation on earth. And every day when I wake up, I want my nation to be the greatest nation on earth. I want my nation to be an example of what human rights is supposed to look like every corner of this world. And until that is the case, I will fight every day in my country to be a true American patriot, one that stands proudly in my deen, proudly in my faith, and learns how to strategically place our Muslim community in a place of power and influence. The bottom line, sisters and brothers, you can tell me about power in the afterlife, you can tell me about all the good things we're going to get in the afterlife. But here's a nightmare that I'm going to leave you with. I have this nightmare that keeps me up at night. And it scares me on a very deep level. And there is not much that scares me, sisters and brothers. I'm not a woman who is easily afraid. And I have this nightmare that 100 years from now, none of you are going to be here. Because at least we agree on one thing in the Muslim community. This is probably the only thing all the Muslims agree on. We're all going to die. It's inevitable, all of us. 100 years from now, none of us are going to be here. And I always imagine a Muslim family sitting quietly 100 years from now. And they're asking themselves, the fathers saying, why don't my daughters wear hijab? Why don't our sons tell people they are Muslim? Why are these beautiful million-pound masajid that have been built over these, why are they empty? Why does nobody go to the masjid? Why are our Islamic schools boarded up? These beautiful places of education are empty. Look at the windows, they boarded up the windows. What were those Muslims doing 100 years ago? Why didn't those Muslims who were living in the UK 100 years ago stand up courageously for our right to be Muslims in this country? Why were those Muslims cowards? Why were those Muslims worried about what everybody else said, instead of worrying about how to preserve their deed in lands where they don't live in Muslim countries? What were those people doing? You know what I, sisters and brothers, hope is that my nightmare translates into a beautiful dream. And that 100 years from now in the UK, we have another 2-3 generations after us of young Muslims who say, MashaAllah, I am more unapologetically Muslim than the Muslims that were here 100 years ago. And it is because of their courage, it is because of their work and their political strategy that they figured out how to preserve our deed and our right to be who we are today. And I will make dua for them. I will ask Allah to bless them and to grant them all Jannah, inshallah. Sisters and brothers, you are responsible for another generation. You are not responsible for yourself. And I will end by allowing you to think about one more thing. You know, when you come to these conferences, you sit in these seats that you're sitting in. Did you ever ask yourself, who in the UK, which Muslims came to the UK 100 years ago, decades ago, that sacrificed for you to call yourself a Muslim here in the UK? People who probably lost their life, maybe became so sick of overwhelming themselves, figuring out how to raise money, how to build masajid, how to ensure that Islam in some part was integrated into the larger society in which we live. There are people, sisters and brothers, that have sacrificed way more than you will ever sacrifice. And it is up to you to honor those sacrifices by asking yourself, what are the sacrifices you will make for generations of Muslims to come? And that